Since the dawn of time, humanity has only had a few common goals. Wealth, power, control, and getting the Fredbear Origins game. It's become sort of a running joke in the FNAF fandom that they've been kind of teasing at us at FREDBEAR'S Family Diner since FNAF 2, and it still hasn't happened.
We don't have a replacement for your ship yet, but we're working on it. We're going to try to contact the original restaurant owner. I think the name of the place was FREDBEAR'S Family Diner or something like that. It was closed for years, though. I doubt we'll be able to track anybody down.
And I think the series itself is fully self-aware about this. We just got a full FNAF prequel game earlier this year, and the rest of the game was full of Fredbear pizza boxes, and Springlock suits, and Springbonnie bobbleheads. And despite all of that, the ending of the game takes place in a FNAF 1 location prototype. FNAF Security Breach did the exact same thing. When you go under the Pizzaplex after seeing all the Fredbear posters and stuff in the building, you probably would have expected maybe Fredbear's is going to be down here. Nope, it's the FNAF 6 location. This desire for Fredbear's has been around ever since FNAF 2 released and we heard the name of the location with nothing else to go off of. And then in FNAF 3, we got it confirmed that it featured Golden Freddy and Golden Bonnie, or Fredbear and Springbonnie. The main antagonist of FNAF 3 literally being in the Springbonnie costume. And because of Springbonnie being William Afton's suit of choice, Springbonnie's kind of the secondary mascot of the whole series. FNAF 4's minigames all take place inside of Fredbear's for the most part, and then Fredbear, like, literally nightmare terrifying big Fredbear shows up at the end. FNAF loves acknowledging Fredbear's and acting like it's important, but never actually showing it. It gets to the point where it took a data leak of an early version of Help Wanted to even get an official Springbonnie model. And all of this is to say, with how long FNAF fans have been begging for Fredbear's, it is no wonder that one of the most common topics for FNAF fan games is Fredbear's Family Diner. In this video, I plan to specifically cover some of the oldest Fredbear games that I can find. Games that have been collecting dust on GameJolt for the past 10 years. And when I think of old Fredbear games, one game comes to mind always. Five Nights to Remember. Now, this isn't to be confused with the remake of Five Nights to Remember, which is much newer. No, I'm talking about the original, and its other games created by the same developer, Stella Wisps. Now, there are 3 games in the Five Nights to Remember franchise. There is Five Nights to Remember, obviously, One Night to Remember, and The Diner. So I guess I'll just play them in order since I find a fascination with this type of game. So, Five Nights to Remember, beautiful graphics in terms of like how this game looks. Like, I really love the aesthetics here. It's very classic. And I don't even mean that ironically. Like, there's something so charming about the primitive, like, almost untextured models with all the flat colors. This game definitely looks old, but that's kind of the appeal of it in the modern day. And honestly, I don't really even think these Fredbear and Springbonnie models are that bad. They could have easily just used recolors of the Splinks models, but no, these are original models of Fredbear and Springbonnie, and that's gotta count for something. And this game was released all the way back in June of 2015, so pretty dang old. Over a decade old, in fact. The gameplay loop of this game is pretty simple. Honestly, it's kind of broken because the animatronics will come down the hallway, Springbonnie comes down the hallway, Fredbear just kind of wanders around, I don't even know what he does. Bonnie stumbles down the hallway, he gets to your door, you flip the switch, him and Fredbear both go back to their stage because it's like a stage call switch, and that's really interesting to me because, I don't know, it's like you can flip the switch at any time. You don't even have to wait for him to get to your door. You can just send them back to the stage whenever, so honestly, as long as you're paying attention to the animatronics, there's not really a chance that they can get to your office because you can just flip a switch and they'll immediately be sent back to where they started. It's very broken, I think. I mean, I guess I didn't get all the way through the game, so maybe there's some curveball thrown in, but at least from what I played, it's very, very simple. There's also a music box mechanic in this game, and it is basically you just, like, when you're on the cameras, you can click this button to keep the audio playing, to keep this thing asleep, and then they don't really tell you what the thing is, but you'll find out if you die to it, obviously. But as long as you have the music playing while you're on the cameras, you should be fine from it. But if you go off your cameras, it will automatically turn the music off and the thing will start lowering. So this game really encourages being on your cameras. Like, there's not much of a reason to stay in your office unless you're trying to flip the stage call switch. Speaking of your office, I really like how the camera UI goes on top of the time. It's really cool. Also, this is a really funny computer model. Like, look at that mouse. That is awesome. And you're probably wondering, what are the jump scares like in this game? Well, what? So just kind of a general thing for a lot of FNAF fan games, I don't know why every FNAF fan game on the face of the earth decides to make the phone calls as quiet as possible. Like, on night 1 of this game, it is very quiet, but it's still, like, you can still hear it, right?
Hello, welcome to the first ever FREDBEAR'S Family Diner. I will now give to you the basic information you need to get through a night's worth of work.
But then once you get to night 2, it's just a completely different story. Like, it is being drowned out by the ambience, even. Like, it is so unbelievably quiet. I don't know why the phone call is this quiet.
Hello, I'm calling back in to see how you're doing and remind you of your basic routine. As such, this call will be shorter.
It's really confusing, too, because this is the phone call where a lot of the exposition about, like, who the guy in the music box is and stuff, so it's so weird how this is such a quiet phone call. Like, you can really barely hear it. And you're also probably wondering, what the heck is the thing inside of the music box? Well, I guess we'll have to find out here. Okay, man. Alright, one night to remember. Pretty cool title screen. I got a thank you beta tester trophy, even though the game came out 9 years ago. And when I try to play it, it just shows a gray screen. I don't think it works on Windows 11 or something, because, yeah, it's just a solid gray screen for some reason. Although, what I can comment on is the sound design, and, you know, they fixed the phone call volume. It sounds pretty good now.
Oh, hey. Welcome back to your job, Alex.
Look how the person on the phone says, oh, hey, even though... You called me! What do you mean, oh, hey? Are you surprised that I answered the phone? I am too, I can't even see the phone. Now, the diner is pretty much a remake of the original game, although, honestly, I think at least in terms of gameplay, it's definitely worse. I will say the pizzeria looks a ton nicer, as well as the animatronic models. But, like, I don't know if I was doing something wrong, but I was running out of power before the phone call was even over. On night 1. And I tried multiple times, and the power drains too fast even when I'm not doing anything. And also, Fredbear and Springbonnie seem weirdly aggressive on night 1, especially when the phone guy explicitly says I only have to worry about Fredbear this night. So I'm not even sure if it's intentional that Springbonnie is also active. As far as I can tell, Fredbear and Springbonnie function literally identically. They show up to your door, you go inside the locker, and then they leave, and it's basically that gameplay loop over and over again. And I will say, the sounds they make when they show up are kind of funny.
Forward, 2 steps back. Though, we don't need another.
This game also has a music box mechanic. It's very similar. Animatronic comes to your office, make them go away, and then watch the music box mechanic. Except the music box mechanic in this game is on an entirely different camera system, similar to FNAF 3, where you will watch regular old classic Freddy, and he's just in this dining room, and I guess you have to reset him so he doesn't get too close to leaving. But because of the power stuff, I'm pretty sure this game is impossible. So the next game I want to cover is Fredbear and Friends Out of the Machine, which is the precursor to two much more popular fan games, Fredbear's Fright and Fredbear and Friends Left to Rot. But as I said earlier in the video, I don't want to talk about the modern fan games, I want to talk about the good stuff. I'd like to say, by the way, I say this stuff as a joke, okay? Obviously, a lot of newer fan games are great, I've played a lot of them, but even though many newer fan games may be objectively good games, they don't make them like they used to. And I guess they really don't make them like they used to, because I don't plan on talking about this game for long at all. I like the use of these models, okay? I really love these models. I kind of made a whole video just so I could talk about them. Now, I was really not feeling this game. Like, this is just boring. Like, nothing happens in this game, and the gameplay loop is a little frustrating because for whatever reason, on top of the pretty visually boring cameras, there's no map, so you never have much of an idea how close the animatronic is relative to you, which just makes watching them on the cameras much less interesting. Obviously, I found out what camera was closest to me by playing the game, but as for the other cameras, I have no idea. Genuinely, I have no idea why there isn't a map in this game. It's probably because of how the cam system works, where it makes you use the numpad to switch between cameras, but that's dumb. Just do it how it's supposed to be. And there's also no clock in this game, so the night just kind of ends whenever it does. You never have any idea what time it is. I don't know how you managed to make a FNAF game with no map and no clock. Like, what are we even doing here? This game is just plain boring and not engaging at all. It removes two fundamental elements of making FNAF interesting and doesn't serve anything to replace them with. It also has a very generous music box that you can overwind so it can just take forever to even lose a bar again. And trust me, you'll have plenty of time to get that music box really wound up because the animatronics in this game are so slow. I went 2 nights in a row without any animatronic actually reaching my office. I got close. On night 2, Springbonnie actually almost got into my room, but the night ended, which I had no idea that if the night ending was coming because it doesn't tell me how close I am to the end. I didn't like this game, but I'm glad the developer went on to make better things, because if I remember correctly, these 2 games were pretty cool. Although I have not played them in a very long time. And just to show how old this game is, there's a minigame that shows William Afton, or Purple Guy, using the Fredbear suit instead of the Springbonnie suit, and I just think that's funny to see. Especially in a post-FNAF 3 world, like, what? I think we knew by then that he used the Springbonnie suit. And that I noticed after the fact when I loaded up the game again to get footage, I had another character in my extras menu, and it was this Endoskeleton dude. I assumed this is the guy in the music box, but I never actually saw him during gameplay because the music box was just a non-issue. And, okay, last thing I want to mention about this game, there is just a certain aura to the phone guy in this game, and I can't really describe it, so I'm just going to let him speak for himself.
Welcome back. I hope you figured the system out. There was one thing I forgot to tell you about last time. You can actually run out flashlight if you leave it on for too long. The same thing happens for the left light. I think the power system was messed up when they installed the cameras, so be careful. Oh, something happened yesterday. When we checked the stage yesterday morning, Bonnie seemed to be off-center. Did you mess around with them? It's not because the suit wearers have them lined up correctly every night. So please stop or the management will not be happy. Anyways, keep looking for anything off. Good luck and try not to fall asleep.
I don't know why I felt the need to play that entire thing, but I felt like I should have. Okay, so there's some fan games in this video that I want to talk about that I think like 4 people have played ever. The production process of this video was I would go on GameJolt and I would find a game and then I'd pick it, I'd download it, and then I just got a bunch of them lined up. And I figured that Five Nights at Fredbear's by Ultra Games HD was a perfect contender for a game that I should talk about. This game was made around 2017, so it's slightly newer than a lot of the other games on this list, but also it's like that literally perfect vibe that I'm looking for, so it's perfect. So let's get into it. This game is beautiful. Like, this is exactly what I was looking for. There is nothing about this game that is not exactly what I wanted out of something like this, okay? Like, the FPS counter in the corner, that is just constantly going crazy, and I don't even know if it's actually counting FPS or if they just put that there because they felt like it. It has the option to turn on shaders, which is what you're looking at right now, and when you turn them off, it makes the game brighter. So are the shaders just making the game darker? I don't, like, this is a click team game. I don't know how shaders work in it. This game has the very simple gameplay loop of animatronic comes towards your office, you put on the Springlock mask when the animatronic shows up, and in true fashion of these types of games, there's not one but two music boxes. But you don't actually have to wind them, they just kind of turn off sometimes and you have to turn them back on before the animatronic kills you. And the music choices are quite interesting. Like, the puppet's music is pretty standard, but then Shadow Freddy's music, who is the other character you need music box for, I don't know, what is he listening to? Yeah, if it wasn't immediately obvious, this game's cameras were basically entirely made in Gary's mod, specifically this map, which I made an entire video about. This game also has a phone guy, which is, again, there's never a miss with these types of fan games. The phone guy is always awesome.
Hey, hello, good night. Well, let's get started. Welcome to FREDBEAR'S Family Diner. I hope you're enjoying your workplace. I'm gonna teach you something you may need to know about your workplace. First, and before everything, you're a night guard, so your main tool is the camera monitor. But let's just say that if the things get dangerous for you, a FREDBEAR mask was given to you in order to keep your safety. If that happened, you may be recognized as an invader. And also, that mask have a security lock of oxygen. What the hell is that, you may wonder? And so the ventilation system will work at full power to provide you enough oxygen. Otherwise you're gonna be dead. The ventilation system is really bad and broke really frequently, bro. Different from the others, which is the puppet. That thing is a bit dangerous. The mask won't work on him. Or her, I don't know really. Don't let the music playing on camera aged stop. Otherwise things are gonna get really bad, dude. See you tomorrow, bye.
He did not call again the next day. Okay, I know I just played like a minute straight of that guy, but can you really blame me? That is an awesome phone guy. Not sure what's up with the robot filter though. Obviously, English is not this person's first language, and I'm not going to make fun of him for that, but the deep voice with the robot filter and the off English is just, it's awesome. I really like it. I find it endearing, and I really like how enthusiastic the delivery is.
If the puppets start to get too much aggressive, the camera monitor will let you know, but only if you...
Being your average size is really nice. Hey, what do you say we go to Daddy?
So yeah, I'll give this game a 10 out of 10. Yup, that's my... Now, Springlocked at Fredbear's is a Fredbear free roam game that is, it's like, okay, Game Jolt has a Fredbear free roam epidemic, okay? People love making free roam FNAF games and they always pick Fredbear's as the setting. I don't know why, it's a really small building, so it doesn't really work that well, but there are hundreds of these games. And I think Springlocked at Fredbear's is a very baseline, this is what you can expect from these types of things. And the whole Fredbear free roam epidemic actually started with a Fanverse developer, but I'll get into that after we talk about this game. Now, Springlocked at Fredbear's is a little bit hilarious, to be honest. Like, you're in a big FNAF pizzeria, there's a bunch of animatronics doing Mixamo animations running at you. There's no defined goal, you have no idea what you're doing. The UI is as vague as possible, it says Foxy's attention, music box, and endless time. Foxy's attention seems to just be a thing that starts at 100 and then slowly lowers until Foxy kills you, and I have no idea how to prevent it. The music box just doesn't work. Like, I found it in the pizzeria, but it doesn't do anything. And I think endless time is pretty self-explanatory. Sometimes I think maybe this game would be easier to understand if the tips menu didn't look like this. There's a lot of FNAF 6 stuff, I assume just because that was one of the newest games at the time that this released. Sort of. I mean, Help Wanted was out by the time this game came out. This game's a bit newer. We got these great arcade cabinets featured. What happened here? So naturally, this game has a locked-in sewer type Yellow Foxy. And it has a shrine to Fusion Z Gamer, as these types of games typically do. No, I'm not making this up. A lot of these games like to put a picture of Fusion Z Gamer because he's like their god. He plays all of these games basically every time. Some other funny oddities in this game include these action figures, which are just shrunken down versions of the actual animatronics, which, to be fair, the actual official FNAF games do this too. I just like seeing it. The office has this weird looking plush trap in it, and I don't really know what's going on with the textures on his head. It's like inside out. I don't know. There's some way he's moving too. He's alive, but I don't think he actually does anything. I think he's just here. Also, he's not even green. Come on. Plush trap is green. Everyone knows this. There's a little tiny Fredbear in the office too, and he's got scary red eyes, and I don't know what his deal is. He's a little scary. Then we got this screen with this totally real static on it. That is the realest looking static I've ever seen. It's a very convincing effect. Springlocked at Fredbear's may just be a crummy Unreal Engine FNAF free roam, but it's got heart, it's got soul. Someone put their heart into this. And if you like how this game is, there's probably like 500 more where that came from. The infamous Fredbear free roam is one of the most fascinating things within the entire FNAF fandom, and I think it all can be traced back to one character. Nixon may not be the first to do it, but I think Nixon can easily be credited as the person to popularize free roam FNAF games. And this can all be traced back to those Nights at Fredbear's, a free-roaming Five Nights at Freddy's fan game which promised to show you the interior of Fredbear's Family Diner. And I'm sure just by looking at this footage right now, you can see many similarities to a lot of the Fredbear free roams on GameJolt, and this is no coincidence. Those Nights at Fredbear's ended up being cancelled, and I think because of this, it caused a domino effect where people had this idea that there would be a free-roaming Fredbear game, and I think, like, thousands of teenagers just decided, you know, I'm gonna do it myself. And there's something so unbelievably beautiful about that. Those Nights at Fredbear's may have never released, and maybe it's for good reason, because maybe if this game released, I don't know, maybe this would be the most popular Fredbear fan design, and I don't want to live in that world. And I think Nixon's impact on free-roaming FNAF fan games can even go further, because he made pretty much the most popular one ever, The Joy of Creation Reborn. But anyway, I feel like I should cover at least one more free roam game before we get into more awesome Click Team stuff, and I think I have a good contender. What's this? Windows protected your PC? It's probably nothing. Yeah, we'll run this. Hey guys, welcome back to my Let's Play. So basically today we're gonna be playing, alright, let's see here. It looks pretty scary, I'll have to say. Pretty dark in here, huh? Wonder what's gonna show up. Oh, we got some ray tracing. Fredbear! I'm such a big fan. What's up, man? What's up, Fredbear? Ah, damn it. We're gonna give this another shot, okay? Because I know in my heart that this is gonna be a great game. Oh, what's this? Got Fredbear and Springbonnie? Damn. They really went all out for this one. We got this room over here. Got some nice balloons. Aw, sick. Nightmare Freddy? In this economy? Oh, that is so cool. You just can't get any better. You just can't get any better than... Alright, let's try that one again, shall we? Okay, let's try that one again. The legend goes that 10 years ago on Reddit, a FNAF fan decided to take this image of Nightmare Fredbear and convert it back into a regular Fredbear. The edit in question looked like this. The edit quickly gained notoriety for how hilarious he looked. Nothing before and nothing after has managed to capture the unparalleled aura of this image. This truly was the FNAF edit of all time, and it was named Breadbear due to his fat appearance. Direct Doggo, the feature developer of Dial Town phone dating sim, had decided to use Breadbear for their FNAF Fangame Day Shift at Freddy's, which is a classic. And I felt like this video would be impossible to make without mentioning Breadbear, although, honestly, I feel like Day Shift at Freddy's itself could be its own video, so I'll save that whole discussion for another day, but I will show some great footage. One of the most iconic aspects of the Day Shift at Freddy's series, well, I don't know if it's one of the most, but the Breadbear arcade machines are a pretty great part. In the Breadbear arcade machines, you play a Space Invaders clone where various FNAF animatronic heads will attack you, the purple guy. And at the end of each level, an evil Breadbear will show up, and it's this giant head, and it's very, very terrifying. In the second level, you face the toy animatronics and a photo-negative version of Breadbear, which is very, very extra scary. Then in the last level, it's Springtrap for some reason. You're not Breadbear, who are you? But just kidding, that's not actually the last level. The actual last level has you shooting a bunch of Shiba Inus, so yeah. There's a thing in the game where you can review kids' drawings to be put up on the walls, and there is a Breadbear drawing you can find there. But obviously, the biggest Breadbear impact on this game, and honestly the whole series, is the ending of the original game, specifically the bad ending, which features Breadbear viciously attacking the pizzeria.
What was that? Is that a lion?
I
am Breadbear. I demand the...
Not really want to get too much deeper into Day Shift at Freddy's stuff, since I kinda want to make a Day Shift at Freddy's video eventually, but I'll mention some stuff about the second game. You know, he's got a brother in the second game, I think. He lives in the ball pit. There's also another Breadbear arcade machine in the second game. Oh, and the Spring Freddy and Springbonnie suits are actually taken from those nights at Fredbear, so that's funny. You gotta admit, this music goes kind of hard. So this is Five Nights at Fredbear's Family Diner, which is what I believe to be one of the very first Fredbear fan games, if not the first. This game is an asset flip of Five Nights at Candy's, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and Five Nights at Freddy's 3. With animatronics that look like this is my kind of fan game. Now this game cold opens like this. Honestly, the pay is pretty good. Like, I'd work here for a week for $1,400. That's a lot of money. I live in this beautiful house, by the way. This game builds up terror in your soul as you watch Springbonnie and Yellow Balloon Boy walk on the camera. Now, I'm not really sure what you're supposed to do in this game, because one of the only ways of defense that you're given, actually I think it's the only way of defense that you're given, is this weird menu. Now, I don't know what any of this means, there's no phone call to explain it, and if I click it when Springbonnie shows up at my door, this happens. Oh, silly me, I used the BB jammer instead of the corrupt signal button to get rid of Springbonnie. And you're supposed to use the corrupt signal button to get rid of Fredbear and Springbonnie, so my bad. Speaking of Fredbear, Fredbear shows up in the second night, and that's when you know stuff is getting real. Fredbear can make it from the stage to the office much faster than Springbonnie can, so you gotta be vigilant about it, or else this is gonna happen. That music box I've been winding up like a million times, well, if that runs out, oh, you're screwed. So, Five Nights at Fredbear's Family Diner is a beautiful game. It is a time capsule of a bygone era, and I love it for that. There's nothing to hate about this game, okay? It's amateur, it's not that great, but it's good. And you know, unlike a lot of the games I talked about in this video, I think this one is fully beatable. Like, you could beat this. This is a playable game. And I really enjoyed making this video. There was a lot of really great stuff to look at, and I've left links to every single game I talked about in the description. Go play them if you're interested. Don't bother any of the developers, though. Don't harass anybody. That's not very nice. There's nothing to harass about, okay? These are great things. And I had fun, so if you guys liked it, maybe I'll do a part 2 and talk about even more Fredbear Game Jolt games. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next video.